What's up, everybody? This is the Big Easy Bets podcast, and this is our NFL Week 3 instant reaction, as well as our Monday Night Football best bets. I am your host, Logan. With me in the studio, Nick Von Brick.
What's up?
What we're going to do here, this is the first time we've done this. This is not an official podcast episode, I suppose, but we are going to go game by game of what we just saw for Week 3 of the NFL season. And currently, the Falcons and Chiefs are playing, and it's Sunday night, so we'll get to the Monday night games at the end of this episode, give you our best bet for that. Chargers and Steelers. The Steelers get the 20-10 win at home. The Chargers stayed out on the West Coast after a dominant win against Carolina. Justin Herbert obviously came into this one labored with the high ankle sprain. He was already dealing with the plantar fasciitis coming into the season, so he's banged up. I didn't think he played really that bad, to be honest. They were up 10-7 at halftime. It was a tough, gritty, back-and-forth defensive battle. My biggest takeaway from this game was Justin Fields is playing pretty well.
Yeah.
Better than I expected, at least. He wasn't expected to be the starter. He threw the ball 32 times. It was 25 of 32, 245 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. The fact that you had Justin Fields throw it 32 times was kind of not how I saw this game going. I thought they would be a little more lean on the run. Does Russell Wilson get his spot back?
No.
I don't think so either. I don't know why you would. I don't think the ceilings are different. I think the ceilings, or I don't know. I think the ceiling for Justin Fields is higher. Maybe the floor for Russell Wilson maybe is slightly higher, but marginally, not much. So
yeah, I mean, the Steelers are 3-0. They're first place in their division, a tough division too, where the Bengals and the Ravens have kind of struggled to start the year. So
yeah,
I don't know why you would make a change now.
I feel like the Chargers are another one of those teams, though, that ahead of schedule from where I thought they'd be. Quentin Johnston is turning into, I guess, Justin Herbert's favorite target. I don't know, how many total touchdowns does he have? He's got 3 touchdowns on the year. He was looking like somebody that was going to be a bust last year out of TCU. J.K. Dobbins kind of got bottled up a little bit, but this is a really tough defense. So the Steelers are good. The Steelers are going to play hard-nosed, the same Steelers football that we're accustomed to for a long time now. Texans and the Vikings. The Vikings at home. I'm not so much surprised that the Vikings got the win per se. I'm surprised at how they got the win. 34-7. They only gave up 1 touchdown to Houston. You and I talked about it. We felt like Houston was probably going to have a little bit of regression coming into this season. They were definitely ahead of schedule. They picked second in the draft, and then they go to the playoffs and get a win on the road, right, against Cleveland? Or was that at home? I think
no, the Texans won it. It was a home game.
Okay. Regardless, ahead of schedule. They came in with a lot of hype this year. They signed Stephon Diggs. I think the Texans are good, not great. The Vikings are much better than I thought they would be.
Yeah. Sam Darnold.
He rejuvenated his career. He threw 4 touchdowns today.
The big thing is the Vikings' pass protection is top notch.
That, as well as the defense is Brian Flores has the defense playing well. People gave Brian Flores a lot of shit for what he said about Tua and this and that. Brian Flores might know what he's talking about. So the Vikings are 3-0. Because they were talking about McCarthy being the quarterback.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Sam Darnold looks pretty damn good. Sam Darnold looks good. He was 17 of 28 today, 181 yards and 4 touchdowns. He got banged up. He was in and out of the game a couple times. But he's thrown 8 touchdowns already on the year. And he's got his team 3-0. So Justin Jefferson's still the best receiver in football. 6 catches, 81 yards, and a touchdown. He's another one, though. He keeps getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He hurt his hand. He hurt his leg. What happened? How'd they get the ball back?
They threw an interception in the end zone.
Really? Fine by me. And yeah, so we're not recapping any bets. We're not talking about anything. We've had a profitable week in the NFL, but that's not why we're here today. We will do all of that per usual on Tuesday on episode 197 of the podcast. So that's where we'll do our recap, college football, NFL, give you all of our best bets. All right, let's talk about the Packers and Titans. The Packers go on the road to take on Tennessee. My biggest takeaway, my number one takeaway from this one is that Matt LaFleur, in my opinion, right now, Matt LaFleur's in the driver's seat for Coach of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
I would say without question. What Matt LaFleur's doing with Malik Willis, somebody who looked horrific with Tennessee, and I'm not saying Malik Willis is necessarily lighting it up, but Last week, he just played okay. This week, he played much better against his former team. He was 13-19, 202 passing yards and a touchdown, 6 carries for 73 yards and a rushing touchdown. Malik Willis played great today. Will Levis is not good. Will Levis is bad. Will Levis is throwing horrific, stare the receiver down, far side of the field on a little comeback route, stare him down, pick six. Do you think how much longer, I guess, do you think in this league Will Levis has?
I don't know. Who's the Titans' backup?
That's a very good question. I can tell you in 1 second. No, I can't tell you, actually. So he's the only one who's played so far. I don't even know.
I don't know either.
Nobody good.
Yeah, he's a big problem for them. I mean, they also can't run the ball whatsoever either, since they don't have Henry anymore. But
their leading rusher was Tony Pollard, 6 carries for 14 yards.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess you can put a lot of blame on Levis, but he's a young quarterback, and they were not able to establish the run and help him out whatsoever.
Yeah, the Titans have found a way to lose just about every game. Certainly should have beat the Bears, who didn't score an offensive touchdown. They lose 24-17. The Jets come back and get a touchdown win, but the Titans were in that game the entire way. Today, though, not so much. Not so much. The Jordan Love goes down for the Packers. Most people expected they were going to drop the majority of these games in his absence. So the only game they lost was with Jordan Love at quarterback.
Yeah, we were high on the Packers in the preseason futures episode.
Yes.
I bet him to win the Super Bowl. When he went down, I'm like, shit, throw that money in the garbage.
I bet him to win the division, and I'm pleased to see that Malik Willis is picking up the slack. So, in the division, the Bears stink. Vikings look good. So they gotta keep up. They got to keep up with the Vikings for sure. It's been a weird year in football and for the NFL season to start in terms of offense is way down, if you ask Mel Kiper. Cover 2 is a serious problem, and it's ruining the game of football. Do you think Mel Kiper knows what he's talking about?
He's nuts.
I don't understand.
You can't change the rules.
Well, that's such like a crazy
you should be able to
recommendation of a rule to change. You want to change the kickoff rule, that's one thing. You want to take the extra point, you want to move it back and make it more difficult, that's one thing. But you want to do away with 2 high safeties? That's the craziest shit I've ever heard. And at what point have we given Mel Kiper Jr. this ability to speak his mind? He's not the go ahead and give you a hot take guy.
Yeah, he called somebody up. I got to get this off my chest.
Yeah, like Mel Kiper's the guy who tells you, I think that this guy is going to be drafted in the top of the first round. Mel Kiper's very rarely right when it comes to the NFL draft. This is a guy, this is all he does. All year he preps for the NFL draft. He told you Ryan Leaf was a home run. Ryan Leaf was the biggest bust in the history of the NFL. Mel Kiper should have been out on his ass after that. We don't need to hear what Mel Kiper has to say, especially if what he's going to say is that we need to do away with 2 high safeties and make it more difficult for the defenses to play football. I have no problem. Everybody out there, the numbers are down. Bet unders. We've been betting unders like they're going out of style. So I thought that was so crazy. The fact that ESPN has fallen so far from what it was in its heyday. Everybody's either up there crying about some shit or just giving a horrific clickbait take. And that's exactly what the cover 2, doing away with the 2 high safeties is. All right, let's talk about the Bears and the Colts. A premier matchup of 2 of the upstart young quarterbacks in the league. The Bears are trying to get the offense going. And the same could be said for the Colts, who got a 21-16 win on their home field. It's a tough place to go in and get a win. Jonathan Taylor came alive, 23 carries, 110 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Anthony Richardson, in midseason form, 10-20, 167 yards, and 2 interceptions. Are you ready to say it?
No.
Come on.
I mean, look, he's struggling, but
okay.
He ran for 24 yards.
Nice. All jokes aside, do you truly think he has a future in the NFL?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Dude, he's not. He's on.
No,
Haven't even played 5 games.
He is fucking terrible. He is. Yeah, he has.
No, he played 1 game last year, and
He got hurt
3 this
first
year.
game.
Yeah.
Are you positive? I don't think that that's accurate. 2023, he played 4 games. Yeah, he played 4 games. 1 game.
What?
He played 4 games last year. He's played 3 this year. He's completing less than 50% of his passes this year. He's thrown 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. One of the touchdowns could have been an interception. One was the most impressive you'll ever see in your life. But all he can do is throw it as far as he can.
Yeah.
I've never seen somebody just complete. I mean, he's not missing these throws. He is airmailing these throws by 20 yards. And the mechanics are not there. It's a lot of like roll out to the right, throw off the back foot back to the left.
Yeah, there was one throw I saw, and he had a guy open, and I don't know what his feet were doing.
No,
he rolled out to the left, and like he wasn't about to get sacked or anything, and the guy was like 12 yards in front of him, pretty open, an easy throw, and then he threw it over his head.
He does not know how to reset his feet. He tries to do everything just off kilter, just arm talent alone, and he's got crazy ability to throw the ball.
There's a lot of learning for him. He's only 22. He hasn't played that much, so I don't know. I wouldn't write him off just yet. I mean, and he's athletic as well, so it's they have to lean more on his athleticism and make it easier for him.
But it's going to get him hurt.
Well, it's just you want to play in this league or not? You got to be able to do something.
Yeah, no, he's a big body, but dude, we saw it at Florida. The best thing he did at Florida was run. That was it. That's when he's at his best, when he's running. When he's throwing the football and they're going to want you to be, like, let's put it this way, Lamar Jackson's not accurate enough to win a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson is infinitely more accurate than Anthony Richardson. Rashee Rice, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a flag.
Oh, no. Oh, no. The Chiefs look like they just tied it up, but there is a flag.
Rashee Rice on the defense?
I don't know. He's celebrating still, but he's coming back. Fuck.
It sent you that with a flag?
Personal foul, roughing the passer, touchdown.
They got it. Oh, shit.
Good call.
They should throw him in jail.
Yeah, good call. Rashee Rice sitting on my fantasy
of the league.
roster. Yeah, you can't do that.
Christ.
Can't do that. All right. Anthony Richardson is bad. Bad. And I'm shocked that you're not calling it for what it is, because he has never shown the ability to throw accurately. And you know that's true.
I mean, I think like his ceiling would be like probably 75% of what Cam Newton was in his prime.
Cam Newton's window was very, very small.
Yeah, he had a small career at a high level.
So why do you think his window closed so fast? Because Cam Newton had a lot of accuracy issues.
Yeah.
And he fell off a cliff pretty quick. So 75% of
Cam Newton also started off way better than Richardson's playing right now.
Cam Newton was more dynamic on his feet, in my opinion. I think he used it to his advantage more. He used it how he was supposed to. He used his ability to run, whereas Richardson's not doing it as much. They want to use him in more of the short yardage situations, but he's not rolling out of the pocket and then going to make plays with his legs as much as he should. So same body style, but different play style, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But so what do you think it was with Cam on a sidebar? Like, they just figured him out? They figured out how to play him, contain him in the pocket, make him throw, beat you with his arm, and he's not accurate enough?
Yeah, I think it was injuries mainly with Cam Newton. His accuracy was never great, but like when towards the end of his career, when he flip-flopping teams, he couldn't.
Oh, yeah. No, I get that. I'm talking more like in that window with the Panthers where they're going to the Super Bowl, and they were good for a couple years before, a couple years after. So, but I mean, post Super Bowl, it went away.
Yeah, I think it was the injuries for Cam Newton, and then like as you get older, you see it with even Watson.
Yeah.
Once your athleticism starts dipping, it's like some of these players have never figured out how to really play quarterback in the NFL. They were just
superior
relying on their athleticism to get them by.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. Yeah, they're superior athletes, and then once it drops a little bit, now the scales are tipped closer to even. Now you can't do as much, and that's why the best ones are able to adapt. It's like Jordan when he had to figure out a 3-point shot. Once he figured out that, it was a different ball game. It's like Tom Brady and Drew Brees, which they were never running around or anything like that, but as their athleticism really starts to go, then you see them hone in on the accuracy, and you got to be able to move the chains. If you can moving the chains is much more important than throwing that deep ball like Anthony Richardson can. So I'll always live by that. But I just don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah, the biggest thing with him right now is he's got to stop giving it to the other team.
Yeah, but dude, I'm telling you, watching him airmail these throws and his footwork, it's like how can you not figure out the footwork by now?
Yeah, a lot of people struggle with that.
They do, sure, but the good ones don't.
No.
So it's not. I just don't think it's just going to click for him. I don't think it's going to all just come together and then like. He should be showing way more improvement this year than last year, and he started out well last year. It looked like, Anthony Richardson might kind of start asserting himself in this league, and then he got hurt. But now it looks like he's regressed tremendously, and the team itself is not as good around him, in my opinion. So let's get to Monday night. We do have 2 games. I think we're only going to have action on one of them, correct?
I mean, I broke down we can see what you think about the Bills and Jags, but
you want to start with Commanders-Bengals?
Yeah.
Okay, so first game Monday night, Commanders-Bengals. Bengals are at home, 7.5-point favorites as far as I see. The total sits at 46.5. Bengals 0-2 after dropping the game with the field goal, giving up a field goal to Harrison Butker. Deja vu. Again, the Chiefs get the last-second win. And then the Commanders with Jaden Daniels are sitting at 1-1 because they got the win against the Giants. But yeah, let's see which way are we. What are we thinking?
Yeah, Washington. They've just been okay against the rush this year. 16th in the NFL rushing yards per game allowed. They gave up 5.9 yards per rush against the Giants. Overall, the defense for the Commanders ranks 29th in the NFL in yards per play allowed. I'm leaning the Bengals minus 7.5 here. I think it's just going to be a lot to put on Jaden Daniels' shoulders here to keep this game close with the way the Commanders' defense has been playing. And then, like you mentioned in the intro, like Bengals 0-2. They've started 0-2 how many years in a row now?
A lot.
I think 3.
They always do this.
We kind of saw them play a really good game against the Chiefs last week, and they kind of got the offense going a little bit. T. Higgins is going to be back on Monday night. So, yeah, I like the Bengals minus a touchdown at home.
Yeah, we talked
about touchdown and a half point.
Yeah, we touched on it right before we started recording here, and I said I lean Bengals with the points. I lean under as well. But yeah, I think I can get behind Bengals minus 7.5. This is it was a bad loss to New England to start 0-1, and then a game, like I said, deja vu. They go back and forth with the Chiefs. Every single time they play, it comes down to the wire. This was one on the road that they should have got. Joe Burrow played well. I would expect to see the offense open up even more with T. Higgins back. Jamar Chase, it's been a frustrating go, especially at the end of that Kansas City game. But Joe Burrow looked good. I question the health of his wrist. He's trying out gloves and this and that. But this Commanders defense is bad. It's really bad. And then they're very conservative with Jaden Daniels. It's a lot of checkdowns. His average depth of target is not very high. I just think that it's going to be tough for the Commanders to score here, and you would just expect that. I mean, it's a really good Chiefs defense that the Bengals just put 25 points up on. Burrow, 23 of 36, 258 yards and 2 touchdowns. I want to see them establish the run more. Losing Joe Mixon, who looked good to start this year, better than I thought he would, which he's hurt now with the ankle, obviously. But they're missing Joe Mixon because Zach Moss is not filling that void. They didn't.
The other guy, though, I think
Chase Brown.
Yeah, I think the 1-2 punch of Chase Brown and Zach Moss will be better as the season goes on.
Yeah, they didn't really commit to it though, which they were up 16-10 at halftime. Chase Brown only had 4 carries, but he had 7.8 yards per touch, 12 carries for Zach Moss. So I'd like to see them establish the run, allow that to open things up for you in the offense. So we're going to try to do this weekly and just go through and kind of brush up on what we saw and what we think about the teams week by week, because in the NFL it's fluid. It changes very, very fast, like we saw with the Raiders beating the Ravens and then going and getting throttled by the Panthers, for one example. So that's all I pretty much got. Do you have anything else?
Nope.
All right, again, hit that like and subscribe button. Our best bet for Monday night, Bengals -7.5. 2 Heisman Trophy LSU quarterbacks going at it. Be on the lookout for episode 197 of the Big Easy Bets podcast. We will be back Tuesday in studio. Y'all have a good one.
The house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house